Our final speaker, Courtney Merrifield, is a transformational leader at T-Mobile with 21 years of experience spanning IT, supply chain, consumer, retail based in Bellevue. I also have the opportunity to work cross-functionally with Courtney often, and I've seen firsthand the impact of his leadership and perspective. He currently leads the Digital Program Office, where he drives some of the company's most transformational initiatives. His work focuses on reimagining how program management operates through new delivery models, AI, and automation. Known for human-centered leadership, Courtney is passionate about using tech and neurodiversity as multipliers for better outcomes. He believes the future of leadership is empowering people to think differently, lead boldly, and build what's next together. Outside of work, Courtney is a proud dad of 5 kids, ranging in age from 4 to 25. His lovely wife, Jen, who also works at T-Mobile, is his rock and makes every day brighter, and for them, family always comes first. He's deeply into music and technology, from collecting vinyl to building home automation with his locally run AI agents and home lab projects. When he's unplugging, you'll likely find him revisiting retro video games or tinkering with the latest tech curiosity. Give it up for Courtney.
Hi, my name's Courtney. We're still on the MC slide. There we go. I've been with T-Mobile for a little over 21 years now. And my first job here, I would receive faxes from national retailers with phones, and we'd look them up and we'd look for service, and then we'd fax them back. And for those of you who don't know, a fax machine, it's like an internet connected printer that would spit things up. That's how we did our job back then. When I started, I didn't have a 5-year plan, okay? I didn't have ambition to be an executive. I didn't have a college degree, and I still don't have a college degree. But I had 2 goals, kind of. I wanted to do good work, and I didn't want to stand out. I just wanted to survive. I felt behind kind of my whole life. I always felt like I was too much. I felt like I was too intense. It was a lot to be around. And at the same time, I felt like I was never enough. Everything felt harder to me in life. Conversations, school, meetings, social interactions, I felt awkward. They were all difficult. Other people, I would watch them, and they would respond quickly and confidently and engage back and forth. It was always something I had to think through. So I decided I would wear a mask. I would simply pretend like I am a normal person. I'm going to do what I see other people doing, to the best of my ability. So when I started, I got to work in supply chain. That's how I came into T-Mobile. I got to learn how to solve complex problems, and I got to learn how to build processes, and I got to work with people. Then I got to go to IT as my first director job. I jumped into an IT role where I got to build a technology PMO and learn all about programs and projects and everything that goes into that world. And then I got to come and I got to work in program management in consumer, where I was managing from the business side the hardware, software, and network for our retail fleet. On paper, that looks like growth. That looks like a pretty cool career, but it didn't feel that way to me. It felt like I was an imposter. I felt like I was always waiting for somebody to call me out, for somebody to realize that I didn't belong there. So I built a personal strategy. I would control myself. I would wear that mask. I would try and blend in. When I started getting invited to leadership meetings and getting to sit with the people that I always looked up to, I felt like that little kid at Thanksgiving that suddenly finds themselves at the adult table, right? You got kicked out, there's more kids there, you don't get to sit there anymore. I got to sit at that table. I didn't even know what fork to use, okay? I didn't know what I was doing at that table. I was just trying to figure it out. I would always prepare too much. If I didn't prepare, I was lost. If I prepared too much, I was still lost. I could never find the right balance. I would go into a conversation or a meeting and I would just run my mouth, and then I'd walk out of there and I'd go, oh, I don't know what I just said. I don't know what I just did. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I left something out. It was a lot. When I looked at other leaders, I thought leaders should be concise. They should be calm. They should be strategic, stoic even. There were people we looked up to. But I labeled myself as disorganized or too much, not really strategic. And because I labeled myself that way, I believed it as well. That's who I was. Success meant that my intensity, I needed to calm it down. My pace, which can get very quick, I needed to slow that way down as well. This stream of ideas that's constantly going through my head, I needed to focus it. I need to get very methodical, but my brain does not slow down. My brain does not know how to do that. So I overcompensated. I spent long hours at work. I tried to be the first one to arrive and the last one to leave. I wanted everybody to know that I could do it and that I belonged and that I wasn't an imposter. So I tried to do everything, at the expense of other things in my life, of course. I lived in my own head. My stomach would churn every day and every night. I'd put on the mask and I'd go to work and I'd do the things, and then I'd go home and I'd rethink everything and replay every conversation. And I'd struggle with every single thing that I did that day. It didn't matter if somebody told me it was a good day or I did something right. I was my own worst critic. It was never good enough. It never is good enough. What looked like survival, what looked like drive felt like survival to me. It may have looked like I was thriving and I was doing all these great things, but I was struggling inside every day. Just over a year ago, I had a little bit of a breaking point and decided I needed to go see a doctor. So I went to my doctor and we sat down in the morning and I said, I've got all these voices in my head. I've got all these things going on. I can't control it. I can't quiet it down. I need some help. We did not talk long before he said, hey, you're gonna come with me and we're gonna go right down the hall. We're gonna meet this specialist and you're gonna love her. Let's go sit down and let's talk with her. And I went and I sat down, and for 15 minutes, I didn't take a breath. I talked very quickly and I shared everything that was going on in my life. All of it, while fidgeting and moving around and just being me. And she goes, hey, and what are you doing to manage your ADHD? My what? Nobody had ever said that to me. At 44, I find myself diagnosed with severe ADHD, some anxiety, a little bit of OCD thrown in there for good measure. Everything suddenly made sense to me. Everything came into focus, kind of all at once in that moment. All of the noise in my head, all of the over-processing, the hyper-awareness to understand the thing right in front of me. I can be in a meeting and I know what every person is thinking about around that table. I know what's going on with all of them. I have no idea what we're actually talking about. None. Don't tell my bosses. It was all too much. Passion would just take over because I didn't know how else to manage it. I thought something was wrong with me. It had to be wrong with me. But it wasn't wrong. It was just different. I just didn't know. I didn't feel broken anymore. I felt explained. I realized that I had succeeded by becoming somebody else, putting that mask on. while every day inside I was fighting with myself. I actually didn't know who I was. Didn't mean I was less capable. It meant that I was measuring myself to a standard that didn't apply to me. But I didn't know that. Naming ADHD and getting that diagnosis didn't make things easier. It doesn't make anything easier, finding out what it is. But it does give you perspective. It does let you look at things differently. The same brain that would be exhausted in meetings saw patterns that other people would miss. The same brain that overthinks everything all the time can sit inside of complexity for longer than others and figure out solutions that nobody else saw. The same brain that felt behind all the time built a pretty cool career connecting dots and working with people and systems and processes, and has been able to do some pretty cool things. I didn't succeed despite being wired different. I succeeded because of it. I'm proof that when you understand who you are and you trust it and you believe in your potential, you can kind of do anything that you want. It's your superpower. In this room, and I've seen some of the head nodding while I've been talking here, there are probably people that feel behind or think that things are harder than they should be. Maybe they wonder why they're at the big kids table or at the table with the leaders. Maybe you feel like an imposter. Maybe you feel like you're getting up and you're putting on that mask every morning and you're just trying to blend in. But you're also trying to hide the thing that could very well make you powerful. I didn't want to be extraordinary ever. I just wanted to be okay with me. I wanted to wake up and feel all right and not have to pretend like I was somebody else. I stopped trying to fix myself, and instead, I decided to start leading as myself and trusting who I was. I'm not perfect. I'm not always polished, but I'm real. I get to be me. See, I'm not behind. I never actually was. I was measuring myself incorrectly. And maybe you are too. Thank you.
Courtney, thank you so much for your honesty and authenticity. I've had the opportunity to work with you across so many cross-functional efforts, and your perspective truly challenges and elevates those around you. Your message about leading as your true self really stays with us. Wow, what a day, huh? I'm always inspired by the vulnerability and courage shared through TIMO Talks, and today was no exception. A sincere thank you to Courtney, AV, Colton, Ishita, and Angela for sharing your stories. I'm truly proud to be part of Team Magenta alongside all of you. If you're feeling as inspired as I am, keep the conversation going on Viva Engage and recognize our speakers by sending them the new TIMO Talks cards in Appreciation Zone. You can find them in the Employee Culture and Engagement category. Finally, scan the QR code to complete our event survey. You'll also be entered for another chance to win some cool swag. And if today's stories resonated with you and you're inspired to share your own, we encourage you to apply to be a TIMO Talker. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to be here. I'm so grateful for this community and already looking forward to the next live event on June 4th. See you then.